Now, happening this weekend, the 15th anniversary of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon, celebrating 15 years of seeing is believing. And I've got two guests in studio who are going to tell us all about it, what you need to know if you're registered to run this Sunday, as well as the milestones that have happened over the course of those 15 years. Peter, it's good to see you again. I think we had a conversation last year, was it?
Yes.
When the marathon was taking place, Mr. Career as well. But I'll let you introduce yourselves with your official titles and involvement in what is happening this Sunday.
Okay. Thank you, Joey, and thanks for having us again. My name is Peter Getao. I'm the chairman of the local organizing committee for the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon.
Yeah. All right, Karibu.
Thank you, Joy. My name is Bano Makorir. I'm the chairman of Athletics Kenya Nairobi chapter and also a member of the executive at the national level.
Okay. All right. Welcome to both of you. Now, if we can just remind our viewers what the Nairobi Marathon is all about. I've mentioned Seeing is Believing, and that's the initiative about preventing avoidable blindness and visual impairment. 2003, when this began, did you envision it being as big as it has become?
Not really, actually, and it's a fantastic story. So in 2003, Standard Chartered Bank globally asked its employees, what is that one thing that would like to do to make a difference? And at that time, across the group, we had about 28,000 employees. And the employees said that we want to perform 28,000 surgical interventions to reverse preventable blindness. And that's how it all started. And the target was to do that within 1 year. Within that 1 year, we had done over 100,000. So it picked a lot of momentum. And so the then Seeing is Believing, that was a small initiative, then grew to a much larger initiative. Mm-hmm. And some things were very telling. If you look at blindness, about 80% of blindness today is actually preventable or reversible through cost-effective means. So the bank then took that initiative and said that by 2020 we will raise $100 million towards Seeing is Believing, and we're very proud that we've actually achieved it 2 years in advance in 2018.
Wow. Congratulations.
So at a global level, that's the way it started. Then locally for Kenya, we looked at a means of raising the funds for Seeing is Believing, and the one thing that was quite natural for us was to do the marathon. We had Henry Wanyoike as a Seeing is Believing champion. Henry is visually impaired, but he does run. And so we saw that as, given Kenya's reputation for marathon runners, as a natural fit. So we then used the marathon for the athletic part of it, but also raising the funds.
Yeah. Mr. Career, from your standpoint, from the standpoint of Athletics Kenya, obviously this has become a marathon where you see people coming in from all different countries and participating, and it's become quite the athletic event. What are your views on how much the marathon has grown, and also your involvement this year?
Yeah, the Standard Chartered Marathon has actually grown very big. For us at Athletics Kenya, it has really helped also to nurture talent. Some of the top athletes have competed here, and eventually when they win the marathon here, they go ahead and win the national level. Other than that also, the marathon has attracted a lot of support from the Kenyan public, and many supporters, sponsors, and we have used it as at Athletics Kenya to ensure that we nurture talent, we prepare our athletes so that they can compete here for future competitions in the national competitions outside the country.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about the different categories, obviously there's those that are more friendly to the public, the family fun run, things like that. But again, this goes to there's 42 kilometers, right?
Yes, of course, Kenya is well known as an athletic nation. We top the world in marathons, also the road races, and also track and field. We have now competitions for fun run, like the 5K, the 10K and also the CEO's race. That one gives an opportunity now for the people to participate and also enjoy the fun run with the families.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an event sort of like for everyone here. So when you talk about some of the beneficiaries, Peter, of people who've benefited from the Seeing is Believing initiative, maybe you can talk about some of those stories and any milestones that you've hit there in terms of numbers of surgeries, and I know you've done a lot in that field. So what have been some of the things that have stood out to you?
All right. As of last year, we had raised about 250 million shillings through the marathon registrations. And that money, working together with a lot of partners, the Ministry of Health and a number of health providers, we've managed to actually address the problem in different ways. One is screening. So we've done about 6 million Kenyans have been screened for their eyes have been screened, and interventions, relevant interventions have happened, whether it's spectacles, whether it's referral to for surgical interventions. Also, we've done about 170 surgeries to reverse blindness. A lot of that for children under the age of 15, but also for adults. In addition to that, one of the key things behind the program is to build the infrastructure and the capacity. So again, working with the ministry, we've trained over 2,000 health workers on how to quickly identify a problem and how to refer it to the relevant health officials. And then we've upgraded about 10 health facilities with the right equipment and the right personnel. So a lot of the money, actually all the money that comes from the marathon has been channeled towards this kind of initiatives.
Right. Barnaba, coming back to you, when we think athletics in Kenya, of course, the question that comes up is of doping procedures, how it is that those are able to be regulated. There might be people who are interested in winning because there's prize money at the end of this race, right? People who might not be interested in winning legitimately. How does Athletics Kenya sort of contribute to making sure that those things do not happen?
We have structures already laid down for testing. ADAC is the body that is responsible for ensuring that testing is done. Athletes in the top 10 will be tested to make sure that nobody is using banned substances. So we have made sure that the rules and regulations governing doping is adhered to. So we have no problem, and as soon as the athletes finish the race, the officials from ADAC will take care of that, and I'm sure that anybody who might be thinking otherwise will not be able to.
This is not that race. Yeah, but obviously, this marathon, like you said, it is a huge platform for budding athletes to come and sort of showcase themselves. How do athletes train for this? How seriously do they take this event, would you say?
This event has become international, and you remember when it started from the beginning, it was one of the 4 races internationally where you're competing to win the $1 million, and it has actually grown from millions and pounds, and athletes prepare annually. From January, they know that they're going to compete in this event, and preparation for marathon is very extensive and requires a lot of dedication and dedication and proper training. It takes many hours to have a marathon runner to win this race. Yeah. So the athletes who are going to run in this race, the minimum period they have actually prepared should be around 6 months. So wow. Because it's high altitude also, so it's not going to be easy. Yeah. You realize that in this marathon, especially in Kenya, top athletes normally fear to compete because of the challenges that they face. The newcomers are the ones always winning.
Who are hungry.
Who are hungry. And they actually go out and win this race. But we want to encourage also the top athletes to be taking part to make sure that this event continues to grow.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk about, Peter, what has changed from last year's event. I know the route will be different this year. What are the changes that you can tell us about? Okay,
we have some slight changes this year, and mainly it's with the start and the finish. So this year, the 42 kilometers full marathon, men and women, the 21 half marathon, men and women, and the wheelchair race are starting at Uhuru Park on Processional Way.
Okay.
And also finishing at Uhuru Park. Last year, we started on Haile Selassie. For the 10 kilometers, it still starts on Uhuru Highway, just around the corner from the Kenol Kobil on Haile Selassie. So that's quite similar to last year, but it ends in Uhuru Park.
Okay.
The family fun run is largely the same as it was last year. The reason for the changes are a couple. We think that we can create a good atmosphere around Uhuru Park, use the space for spectators and also people who want to witness the people who finish the race first. And we are using Railway Club as a marathon village, so we'll be able to channel anyone who comes into Uhuru Park through to the Railway Club, where there'll be some entertainment and food and refreshments. Okay. So that's a main change this year. The rest of the route remains largely the same.
Right. Barnaba, you brought up the issue of sort of athletes who are not that well known, or not the elite athletes wanting to participate in the Nairobi Marathon. What opportunities can grow out of being successful in this marathon, would you say, especially for the upcoming athletes?
You will find that in this marathon, many managers will be coming from outside the country, looking for the top athletes. When they do well here, they'll definitely get contracts from those managers, and eventually also get an opportunity to get a shoe contract like Nike or Adidas.
So it is in essence sort of like a scouting opportunity for you to look at what your future could look like.
Yes, it is a scouting opportunity, and this is a very big chance for marathoners, the new marathoners that will want to compete internationally. And also the athletes that will be competing in the World Championship next year. We also, as Athletes Kenya, we are looking also the possibility of considering them, especially the winners, whether they could actually represent Kenya next time. And you realize that sometime in the past, most of the marathoners, the top marathoners may not have been winning major races because the competitions there do not have pace setters. You realize we have pace setters in New York, Boston, and the others. But in this marathon here, we don't have anybody who is pace setting for the others. We call it rapids. So you run on your own and make sure that you win. So eventually, this is a good opportunity for an athlete who wins here to have a big potential to win a major championship where there are no pacemakers.
You never know when the next Eliud Kipchoge is going to make his appearance, right? I know that the kit collection exercise is happening at the KICC right now. Maybe you can just run us through registration fees. I know there's an online component to this as well, so take us through that.
We've in the local organizing committee, we've brought together a number of stakeholders. And our event organizer, Homeboys. So we've set up the kit collection at KICC. Registration, so far we have about 18,000 people who've registered. Okay. Registration is still open until Saturday, so we believe we'll get a few more, and as we target our mark of 25,000. So the kit collection, once registered on the website on www.nairobimarathon.com, you get a race number and an email, and with that one goes to KICC and collects their kit. It's a pretty efficient process. We are resourcing it, more, because in the last two days there has been quite a number of people coming, and they've had to stay a bit longer than we wanted. But it is ongoing, and it will continue until Saturday. Registration, all our registrations this year are online, and we're very thankful for Kenyans, and other people participating for. Taking on the online registration. It makes management of the data much easier.
Yeah. Coming back to you, Mr. Korir, in terms of athletics and sports in general, reputation is very important, and Kenya has had quite some good fortune internationally when it comes to athletics. Why do you think it's important for us to stay in that space and sort of not let it go? Because a lot of times when we're watching these international championships and you see a non-Kenyan and you're thinking that belongs to us. We feel like it's our birthright in some sense. So why is it important for us to continue to nurture the young and upcoming talent when it comes to athletics?
You realize that since the beginning, when we started participating internationally in athletics, Kenya has always done very well. Kipchoge won the marathon the other day, breaking the world record. And we have also Kipkeino, who is the father of athletics in this country. So athletics has brought a very good name to this country, and athletes have been major ambassadors for Kenya. Wherever you go outside this country also, they always ask you if you're an athlete. So, as a country...
And we lie and say yes.
Yes,
Some of us.
Of course, even if we don't run and we associate ourselves with our own kinsmen, women, we feel good. So it is something very important for the country and the government to ensure that athletics stays at the top. But Kenyans always have believed that running and winning is our thing. Yeah. So we want to continue maintaining it and ensuring that we nurture talent. And to nurture that talent, we have to have a reputation and to protect athletes, and also to make sure that their integrity is also intact.
Yeah. Peter, what does it feel like to see 15 years in and how much international recognition the Nairobi Marathon has garnered? Like I was saying earlier, we see people flying in to run in this very specific marathon. What does that feel like from your standpoint to see the success?
It's a proud and also humble moment because a lot of what we've achieved is because of the partnerships that we have, whether it's working very closely with Athletics Kenya, with the Kenya Police, with the Nairobi City County, or whether it's the sponsors that also support Standard Chartered in this. So it's a very humble feeling, and when one sees the impact that what the money has on the community, that really brings it home. Last week but one, we had the World Sight Day, and we had an eye clinic at Uhuru Park, and to see people coming in and getting the medical attention and then getting the medical intervention, and knowing that that has been made possible by all the participants that register in the marathon, all the stakeholders that help in the local organizing committee, and all these other sponsors is very humbling.
Yeah, it must be. So you said registration is available on nairobimarathon.com. Yeah. So people can get registered all the way until Saturday. But hopefully you've been training and not just, I know people who've been seriously training for this. So I'm looking forward to seeing the turnout there. You mentioned that you had already achieved your goals in terms of what you had set to achieve by 2020. So are there new goals that have come as a result of your achievement there?
So globally, that goal has been achieved. Okay. But now, as an institution, we want to look at what's the next step. We will continue with the seeing is believing. We will channel it differently. But once eyesight is restored, how do you then take people through education, entrepreneurship, etc.? So how do we then go to the next level? So that is what the bank will be focusing on going forward, though we will still continue to run the marathon and raise funds for seeing is believing. Yeah.
Mr. Korir, what are your final comments as we gear for Sunday's race?
My request is for the Kenyans to turn out in large numbers. Even if you are not participating, just come and cheer our athletes and also the spectators, your brothers and sisters who are going to compete. It is a lot of fun. Of course, people will be going to church, but either this should be a celebration also for Kenya as a nation deep in athletics. We should be the ones who are in the forefront to ensure that athletics is maintained. Yes. If you go outside this country, you could be shocked to realize how our athletes are revered. So we should actually have the same thing, and the support from the public, from the spectators, from the fans. We should all come together and enjoy this race and make sure that the Standard Chartered Marathon remains ours, and we all own it as part of Kenya. Like other countries, Boston Marathon, New York, you can see the thousands of people turn up.
And it shouldn't be that we only celebrate them when we see them in Boston or New York or Berlin. Yeah, we should be able to celebrate them right here in Kenya. Route, in terms of road closures for this Sunday, what is to be expected? Okay,
we did a road closures press conference yesterday, and we've published it in today's newspaper. I think what's important is also to see the road diversion. So what we've tried to do as much as possible is to make sure anyone who wants to access different parts of the city can still do it, not the way they normally do. So largely Mombasa Road from Plaza 2000 will be closed from around midnight up to, we believe it will be open by 2 p.m. And also this is a side of Wayaki Way up to the Kempinski turnoff will also be closed up to around midday. There are different diversions where one can still access wherever they want, the airports, places of worship, etc. So that will be in the dailies, and we'll also be sending messages to all the participants on how they can get to the venue.
Yeah, so you should be able to access where you need to access. You just need to know ahead of time what's happening so you can plan. Do you have any final comments?
Yeah, we're looking forward to Sunday. A lot of preparation has gone into this, and I'm hoping that if you haven't registered, you'll also register, and everyone else in the studio will register. So we look forward to hosting everyone who comes for the marathon. We will do a quality event. So if you're a runner, if you're coming to have fun, or just for health purposes, we will make sure that you enjoy and live beneficial.
It's always been a quality event in the years that I've attended, so I don't trust that quality will have decreased at all. By Sunday, again, the Nairobi Marathon, the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon, taking place this Sunday. So make sure if you haven't registered already, you go to nairobimarathon.com, get your registration, go pick up your kit, and all the best to the winners. We'll be seeing you there on Sunday.